Greetings, Earthlings. This is Carl Polachek from Small Biz Thoughts, and this is another SOP video for managed service providers. Today I want to talk about the tech on call for the day, which you might also call the service coordinator or the temporary service coordinator, or maybe even the service manager in training. The tech on call for the day simply has the job of filling in for the service manager, of being there to take responsibility and to learn the role that is extremely important. I love the idea of having every technician rotate into being on call once a day. Somebody should take over that role, and that way they begin to see what does the service board look like from the service manager's perspective. They begin to see why it's important that all those technicians work in real time so they don't drive the service manager insane. They see what it means to have good communication with clients, because somebody sends something in, clients send something in, they've got to contact everybody and make sure good communication is taking place within your company. So, in general, I want no one in your company to answer the phone except the service manager, or if the service manager is not there, the technician who's on call for the day is authorized to answer that phone. So they get to learn a little bit about customer service, they get to learn about putting tickets in the system, they get to learn lots of little details about making sure the service board is running as smoothly as possible. It's very important that you remember that this is not a help desk situation. If it were up to me, there would be no help desk in anybody who calls themselves a managed service provider. Help desk essentially means the phone rings, you pick up the phone, you start working on whatever it is. It could be the single least important thing that is needed at any of your clients, no matter how big your clientele are. But because they answered the phone, you start working on it right away. It's completely interrupt driven, you shouldn't do it. So the person who's on call for the day must remember the only thing that they're authorized to do is enter a service ticket and coordinate it to get somebody to go help out with that. But they cannot start fixing stuff, because what happens is, as soon as they start fixing stuff because somebody called, A, you train the client that you are interrupt driven and that they can bother you anytime they want and you're just going to drop what you're doing and take care of that. And B, they don't get the rest of their job done because they were interrupted with usually very low priority things. And in fact, there's kind of this hierarchy. There's the service manager, who's gone at the moment because you're in charge. There's you, and then there's the technician. And for that moment, you are above the technicians, and your job is to make sure that they are using their time efficiently. Well, you have to use your time efficiently so that the technicians can use their time efficiently, right? So you cannot be going to work every time the phone rings. You got to say, man, we'll get right on that. And then you call a technician, or you send them a text message, or you assign a ticket to them and they get a text message, right? But you don't work on it right away. So no help desk. If you have a back office, in other words, if you have an outsourced help desk, whether it's third tier or somebody else that you need to coordinate service with, it is the technician on call for the day who's going to take care of that. So they got to make sure, just as your in-house techs are coordinated, your back office technicians also need to be coordinated. They are part of your team, so you got to make sure that they're working with that. Finally, the technician on call for the day is the one who has to make sure that that service board is actually getting monitored, that you know how many tickets there are, that they're moving forward, that all of the technicians have everything they need, that you massage that board to make sure that we don't have too many high priority tickets in the system, that everything is getting the attention it needs, that we don't have one client that has too many tickets, or that we don't have a bunch of tickets that are getting really, really old. When you start having to massage the board and look at it from all those angles, what you're going to see is that, wow, the service manager really has a hard job, and you begin to appreciate how much work the service manager does. It also is a great way to train all of your technicians to one day step into that role. And to be honest, it's a good way to see who will never be successful in that role. If you're not good with the service coordinator of the day role, then you are certainly not going to be able to make it as a service manager. So it's a good step up to see who's eligible, but it's also a good way to train people so that in case something happens with your service manager, you're actually able to run your business without skipping a beat. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Palachuk wishing you the best of luck in your managed service business. Like it if you like it, share it with your friends, and absolutely subscribe to the channel.